It's 50 degrees today, so I'm warm. Fucking tree. Oh! Oh.
BLF, also magnetic wave detector, so low frequency waves from the aurora. We've got a pretty standard off-the-shelf MP3 recorder with a sensitive microphone and a wind muff, sort of to try to measure the sound through there. The A&M undergraduate students also flew their spectrometer. You can see in here, you can see the GoPro camera. It's been specially modified to look at specific spectral lines with a diffraction grating. You can see some hand warmers. The styrofoam box keeps everything nice and toasty on the inside. And here we've got our bacteria samples and yeast samples, measuring the genetic mutation from galactic cosmic rays that impact the samples at altitude. And then, of course, we've got this pretty simple but robust PVC rig with sort of lines coming up, tensioner lines coming up, and that stabilizes the whole thing with imaging, which is important for the spectrometer. And the aerogel sample inside here collects micrometeorites that impact the aerogel up at altitude before they're stopped and slowed down and burn up in the atmosphere. How do you feel right now? Well, pretty excited. You know, we trekked for about an hour and a half, and it's just really rewarding to finally come across the payload and track almost exactly there. GPS says we're within 13 feet of the satellite signal, so it's just great feeling to see the parachute. Should have been right there. Yeah. How do you guys feel right now?
Glad we found it and it was not in that tree.
Right?
Yeah. It could have been a lot worse. You look at all these 40-foot tall trees here.
This is the right size tree,
This is the right size tree. Yeah. I like this kind of tree lighting.
And your mom sewed this parachute?
Yeah, my mom makes all these parachutes out of ripstop nylon. We've been sort of innovating at home for her home back in Wisconsin.
That's awesome. And what would you say to like a middle school student, like looking at this contraption?
Yeah, well, I'd say, it doesn't look very fancy. It's full of PVC and duct tape and zip ties, and it's the sort of science experiment that is really accessible to sort of the wide masses, and that's kind of the point of Project Ether, and certainly the education involvement, and we want to make this accessible to as many people as possible. Yeah.
You could say that their experiment would look exactly the same. They could do the exact same thing.
Yeah, sure. And of course the latex balloon bursts nicely.
Oh yeah.
Lost a few of the shreds up at altitude, but hangs on more or less.
So for the most part you leave nothing behind.
That's right.
There's just a little tiny bit of latex.
If we could find it, we'd go recover it, but it's probably miles away.
Is there a reason that you use white on the balloon?
White PVC or the
white latex?
Oh, well, it's just, this is sort of how the balloons come. You can have them specially made with like a red dye or something like that. But, we find that the blaze orange is more or less okay.
Okay.
That's parachute. Just because sometimes you lose the balloon, sometimes you keep it. Just depends on the break apart.
This entire rig probably weighs about 5 pounds or so.
Oh yeah, even less. This one's probably about 4 pounds. Yeah, that's right.
That white box that looks like a milk carton, is that just
That's actually the CO2. It's one of these dry ice containers that maybe you order food in. Or,
Oh, okay. Like, is it made of styrofoam?
Yeah, just
Okay.
just normal styrofoam. I think it's actually